Woohoo! Here we go.
We're here.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic to be here. Even though I think we're both kind of worn down from the Memorial Day festivities.
Yep.
But yes, we have to get this episode in. I can't do it tomorrow, and we have an action-packed week. The end of that week, of course, is Southern Miss going to start the regional up in Knoxville. But let's go ahead and get to the show, man. Let's do the first read and get after it. So greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another episode of To the Top Talk, brought to you by Mugshots Grill and Bar. To the Top Talk is the original and longest running Southern Miss podcast in the market. We're recording this episode on PLo
May the 27th
from beautiful Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Here, as always, with your break from the High Resource 5 propaganda to talk a little Southern Miss athletics. I'm your host, and you know that guy sitting over there. His name is Patrick Lowry.
Yeah, let's go.
So what's up, man? You went fishing today?
Yeah, got up at 4:30 because you got to get out there before the fish wake up, apparently. Yeah, it was great. Hung out with my dad. We fished up around Waynesboro. It was awesome. Had a great time. Caught a lot of fish.
When's the fish fry?
Tomorrow night. It's happening.
Bad thing is that tomorrow night's packed.
Yeah. You have to get you a to-go box.
Doggy box, yeah. Doggy bag. People still say that? Doggy bags?
Probably not.
It used to be called a doggy bag. Anyway, but before we get this thing going, we do start off on kind of a serious note. I mean, today is Memorial Day, right? So special thanks to those that serve America, right? It's the best.
No doubt. Mm-hmm.
To those that have fallen, this is kind of the day for you. We honor those on this day, and we get to do things like this podcast, right? Because of the sacrifice that they made. So, so definitely just all honor to their names. So, wanted to do that. Of course, this episode is brought to you by Mugshots in Hattiesburg, the South's premier sports grill and bar. It all started right here in Hattiesburg 20 years ago. At Mugshots, they're always having a good time. Happy hour specials daily with 18 specialty burgers. They've got you covered. Go see our good friends at Mugshots in Hattiesburg today. Mugshots, delivering craveable food and personalized hospitality to friends and family in a place obsessed with sports. And I'll tell you what, there's lots of friends and family obsessing with some sports this morning at the Mugshots.
Yeah, it looked like a packed house.
Yeah, at the selection show. We got there right at 10:30. Which I tried to tell my family, like, look, the doors open at 10:30, but I'm telling you, got to get there a little bit before.
Yeah.
And it doesn't start till 11. I was like, yeah, but I was there last year, so you might want to get there a little bit before. Yeah. Anyway, luckily, William Burke and Phil Scott, I guess that'll be my first two shout outs of the day. They had a table, and it was really just meant for four people. We squeezed all three of us on one side, and they, buddied up on the other side. Other than that, we wouldn't have been able to stay. It was that packed. And Mugshots is a big place. I don't know how many people you can fit in there. I don't know. Yeah. 300, 400, whatever it is. It was at capacity. It was great. We tweeted out a photo and a video from there. So I don't know if you could tell exactly how packed it was from either of those two things, but it was really nice. So what happened since the last time we recorded? Well, everybody knows what happened, but we went to Montgomery, played some baseball, did that selection show today, saw tons of Golden Eagles out and about everywhere. We've hit 40 wins since the last time we recorded for the 8th consecutive season. And we learned that our path to Omaha is going to be a tough one. I mean, they're all probably tough, but it doesn't get any tougher. We're headed to Knoxville, and the number one national seeded University of Tennessee at Knoxville. So, but while we were in Montgomery, I went to the final day of Montgomery, and I got no problems with it. Right? There's been a lot of talk between, there's not a lot of people in the stands, and there was when I was there that day. I think the attendance yesterday was a little over 1,300. Up until that point, it hadn't been over 1,000 for any day, and some days it looked like it was, it was really struggling. Yeah. So PLo, and we're both from South Mississippi. You're from closer to Biloxi than I am, but What are your thoughts on that? I mean, moving the tournament or keeping it in Montgomery. It's a cool stadium. It's nice. It's
Yeah.
really, people talk about it's tough to get there, dude. Once you get to Mobile from Hattiesburg, it's interstate the entire way. Like you get off of the interstate, and it is right there.
Yeah.
So it's not tough I did it, right? I did it with a 7-year-old in tow in one day. 3.5 there, watch the game, 3.5 back. But Biloxi's cool. Biloxi's has, the casinos and probably a lot more stuff to do just right around there. But not that Montgomery's bad. But what are your thoughts with the possibility of moving it somewhere? For us, it would be hopefully Biloxi.
Yeah, I love the idea. I was kind of on the train of going with Pensacola just because the basketball's there. Like, I think it would be a cooler destination to get more people to go. But also, in saying that, it made me kind of think about this time of the year when this would be played and all the traffic that is heading that way with Memorial Day and beaches and condos and hotels already getting full. So why not Biloxi?
Not that Biloxi is immune to that.
Yeah, it's not, but it's a lot less, and it's a little different direction than through the tunnel and across to Pensacola.
Sure.
That can get a headache as someone who grew up in that area. It's a pain to do that. So
let me ask you this. Let me throw out another one. And our good buddy Paul Apian, guess where he lives, but Chattanooga.
Yeah.
It's not that far. That's 6 hours. It's 3 hours
more centralized, I would think,
Birmingham,
right?
3 hours up to Chattanooga. Very nice park, AA facility, where the Chattanooga Lookouts play.
He would love that.
Plenty of stuff to do up there. And honestly, dude, not as freaking hot.
Yeah.
It's so hot. That was one problem with Montgomery, and even people yesterday were texting me like, man, like nobody's there. And I would shoot them a picture of the, over 1,000 people.
They're all up in the shade.
Wow, doesn't look like that on TV. I'm like, yeah, because those seats are plastic.
Yeah.
And I don't know how people did it. I sat down there with Rock and a couple other people. The Blackwells are there.
Yeah. I could see them behind home plate.
So, and I was there and people were texting me the first inning or two. And then they're like, where'd you go? I'm like, I'm up in the shade, dude. It's so hot.
Yeah, we do. Don't forget too that we are live, and we do have a couple of comments. You'll get a kick out of this one, Jason. Our good friend Cloverleaf Mall, long-time listener, first-time caller. They have similar to something to mugshots. That's a great question. Franchise opportunity? I don't know. I know they don't have anything as good as mugshots.
Yeah, if they don't, they oughta. We'll just leave it there. So let's go ahead and get to just what happened.
Jump in.
So baseball, we're sitting at 41-18, 20-10. We've won 6 in a row, 15 of our last 16 games. The rankings are kind of all over the place. I really don't care about them at this point, but we did go over game 1, which had already happened by the time we recorded last week when we were on with Jake Winston, right-handed pitcher, Jake Winston. But so that game versus Coastal, won that game 5-0. Masterful pitching performance from Billy Oldham and Colby Allen, which they kept doing some of that during the tournament. Wilkes and Monastery did all the damage offensively, off to a 1-0 start in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. So then we go to game 2. It's one we have not reported on, so we will get into that. As everybody knows, we did go undefeated in the tournament, but game 2 was versus Troy. Troy's good. You'd like to think they have a home field advantage. They don't. I don't. It's just in the guy, bless his heart, on social, on Twitter, the main Troy account. Can't remember what it's called, but he's always has an excuse, man. The first one, he was like, man, it's a morning game on like a Wednesday. We're like, yeah, well, we showed up for that one. Then the next one, he said, well, it's a night game, but it's still a midweek. I'm going, all right, man. Like, if you don't come in the morning or at night, I'm not positive where that leaves us.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, without Uber there, it's kind of hard to get from Troy to. I don't know. That makes no sense.
No, doesn't at all.
That was what I was going to say earlier about Biloxi. Like, the perk is you would have people from Hattiesburg that would just stay there the entire week, and watch all the games. Like, every game would be so much more attended than what we've seen this week. So,
and it couldn't be any hotter. People are like, it's gonna be so hot. I'm like, bro, it could not be. I was there yesterday. It's impossible to get any hotter. If anything, you have a little bit more Gulf breeze right there.
Oh, you definitely got more breeze.
Hot. Still going to be hot. But the game versus Troy won that game 65.
Mm-hmm.
It was a battle. Troy scored 1 in the top of the first. We're up 3-1 through 2 innings after scoring 3 in the second. Russo doubled, Seth Smith singled, Broadus doubled, and Troy scores 3 in the third on a homer. That bubble thing in right center field, it kind of jets out. No idea why it's there. I normally don't mind quirky stuff in ballparks. That's just a weird one. It's not going around anything. It's not because you're up against like a city street. It's just a bubble, and it's there, and it's weird. But if the bubble wasn't there, the ball's caught on the track. So Troy goes up 4-3. They added 1 in the 6th to make it 5-3. Sutter missed a 3 in the 8th to take the lead. Another Russo double that scored 2. D-Mac hit a ball that went like 9 feet and scored a run. So he's only one person on the planet that can do that. And he's the guy.
I thought it was just a turf thing, and then we played a field with dirt, and he still does it. I'm like, I don't understand. It's incredible.
He's got a knack. And people are like, man, he's so lucky. I'm like, well, he must get lucky a lot. He's in like 400. So
yeah,
it's hard to do that in Division One. On the mound, Mazza started, didn't look great. Stuff looked there. The umps strike zone was tight, both ways probably more so for us, I think. But so Mazza goes 3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. He's gonna have to clean that up. Chandler Best, who we've been on the Chandler Best train for quite a while now, he's completely back. He goes 2 2/3, 0 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Middleton gets the win. How long have we been waiting on this guy to show up? He improves to 1-1 on the season, 2 1/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 runs, 3 Ks. And then, like Colby Allen, number 2, really, is Josh Ock.
Right.
He goes an inning, 0 runs, 2 Ks. He's just unflappable up there and has great stuff. Is incredible. He has 2 fastballs. He has 1 fastball that he throws from the mound, and then there's another fastball that he runs up there, I think, and throws again, like from 10 feet from the plate. That just explodes, right? Yeah, it's got so much life on that 2-seamer. So he's fun to watch. He isn't scared of anything. He could get in there right now against whoever the best hitter is in the major leagues, and Ock would stare him down and throw those pitches. He's the man. And I see right there the Attack Eagles is chiming in saying, "Freaking Ock."
He loves
You're right, bro. Freaking Ock. That would be a great shirt if it wasn't for NIL.
Yeah.
Hitting wise, Dalton McIntyre goes 3 for 5. Russo 2 for 4. Had himself a tournament. 2 runs, 3 RBIs, 2 doubles. Seth Smith 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI. Slade Wilkes hit a double, as did Gabe Broadus. So Slade extends that streak. And that was awesome. So we're off to 2-0 at that point. How you feeling, PLo?
Great. Was 2-0 is the one that gets you to Saturday, right? So at that point, we didn't have to play Friday. We get the rest. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, really good.
It's very nice sitting out that Friday, just waking up and being like, I don't know. I might watch some. I might not.
Yeah.
I have no commitments today.
Yeah, that would be that's definitely the way to do it. Obviously, we've been on the other side of that, either lost the first one or lost the second one, and then you're just, with the pitching, and that's what a lot of other teams, obviously that's what App State faced, and so yeah, it's good to win those first 2, get a little rest the guys, kind of refocus and hit it on Saturday.
Sure thing. And before we get too far into this, if anyone wants to jump in, you can always just chime in on the Twitter space.
Yeah, we do have a couple of comments on the Twitter space. They don't come into our feed here, but Chad Edwards said at Eagles TTT said Chattanooga's a cool town. We agree. And Amy Lee Rogers said Hattiesburg guys own the best coffee shop there in Chattanooga, my nephew included. You can be caffeinated, so that's
what's
cool.
The name of that coffee shop?
Yeah, Amy, if you're still on, let us know the name of that. We'll give them a shout out.
I feel like they have told me this before,
and
I'm not sure if we went by there or not. I do know that there's a pancake place called like Aretha Frankenstein's. I think we went to.
Very clever.
It was fantastic. Weird old house, like in the hills or whatever, and you got to like park on kind of like a I don't know, San Francisco style road. You kind of
right
shimmy down, and then when you're walking back, you're like, damn, Shouldn't have had all those pancakes, you know. But anyway, so yeah, just feel free to jump right in here. That next game was versus App State. Now it's a good thing we did have the day off on Friday, because Saturday, first of all, was a 9 a.m. start. That didn't mean anything because this game went for freaking ever, dude. We went to so mugshots open up. I mean, not mugshots. Keg and Barrel opened up early that day, and so Jack and I golf carted over there and got there about 8:45. I can't not have a beer. I'm sitting at the bar, so I had one.
Yeah.
And then we sat there forever. We sat there for about 4 hours. Only played a couple innings and then had to leave. And then, anyway, the day went forever. At the end of the day, we won this game 7-5, just to get everybody caught up on kind of what happened to get us to that point.
Such a crazy game.
Yeah. App got on the board first in the bottom of the first. They were winning 2-0. Southern Miss scored 2 on the top of the second. There was a wild pitch that scored Monastery, I remember, and brought us, knocked in a run, but kind of into a double play. So anyway, but we tied it up. Nobody scored in the third or the fourth. Southern Miss with a 5 spot in the fifth. Wilkes doubled in 2 runs. Gillespie got out, but knocked in Pratt. Nicky Ballgame hit maybe the furthest home run I've ever seen in my life.
Holy
and after I went to the park and sat there and I looked up at the scoreboard, TV did not do it justice at all. This scoreboard is like 30 feet above the fence.
Yeah.
And he hit it 30 feet up the scoreboard.
Right.
I was looking at it going, so that's where the ball was hit. Holy crap.
Yeah. Did you see, oh gosh, what's his name? Dickerson. Dima said he had tweeted like something similar about Monastery hitting the longest home run he's ever seen in this park is outside of maybe Dickerson last year. And then Dickerson replied to it and said, "No, Nick hit that ball way longer than I hit mine." So I love that. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and he's not lying, man. That ball is crushed. So then I gave us a 7-5 lead overall, and Colby Allen just closed the door. He's just becoming automatic. Hitting wise, Dalton McIntyre 2 for 4, Wilkes 2 for 5 with a double and 2 RBIs, Gillespie 2 for 5, Monastery 1 for 3 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Broadus and Pratt both got hits as well. Have you noticed the bottom of our lineup?
Strong,
kind of setting the tone.
Yes.
I mean, the bottom of the line, it's just, I think back to how the season has progressed. And once we finally just settled on this lineup that we have, kind of like the top did their thing. The middle
got really hot.
Yeah. Well, it was, there was times this year where I was like, oh, damn, got 2 runners on and 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And then they kind of started clicking. Now there's not a part of the lineup that's not clicking.
Yeah,
but the bottom in particular, man, is people that I just honestly didn't know if they could do it.
Yeah,
or proving me wrong. They're setting that. It's so fun watching this team come together. But the bottom of the lineup in particular needs some serious props.
No, they do. I agree. I had that thought as well. I mean, I know everybody that watched this team a lot this year. They were definitely a liability early in the season and struggled at times. I mean, that's part of it. They were kind of finding some identity. We were also shuffling the lineup around a lot too, and so trying to figure out, the right pieces. And that we've had some injuries and stuff like that, and had to shift again. But man, you get people on base, and then you get McIntyre and Pratt, and then Slade. Like you can see how we can score runs quickly. It's instead
then you
of
get Gillespie.
Yeah.
Then you get a Nicky Ballgame, and then Russo might be the hottest hitter on the planet.
It's like, so yeah, you got like 8 guys in a row that are becoming a very, very tough out. So, I love to see it. Fires me up, man.
You mentioned about pitching before we started with this game, and still hadn't figured out that third starter. But Sibley started this game. So good out of the pen in first in relief. It's not good at starting. He's 0 for 4 as far as starting goes. He started and went 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, 69 pitches in 2 innings. It's just, I don't know why. I don't know why he's good at one and not at the other. He's a good player. I know that. It's just not working out starting wise. So he started. Not that anybody else has done very good in that role since
Right.
Armistead went down.
Mhm.
But Sibley's the latest to not get it done. Then Flowers comes in. Flowers is that power lefty that we kind of hoped would materialize throughout the season, and he sure has. He's credited with the win. He goes to 2-1 on the season, which surprised me. I don't remember him throwing enough pitches to go 2-1.
He was rolling. That's why. I mean, he looked so good, and I hated that lightning delay got him out of there because I felt like we could have rolled with him a little longer. And you could see at the end of that break, I know on the TV, they were, like every player in the dugout was giving him mad props and kind of a hug and kind of pumping him up because he had some crucial innings.
Yeah, they knew that they needed to have it, and he absolutely gave it to them. So he goes 2 1/3, 2 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Looked great. Then Josh Ock again, and I can't remember when all these delays came in. I know after Sibley there was the delay, and then I think Flowers came back and he pitched those 2 1/3, right? And then there was the other delay.
Then that was the long. That was the long delay.
That was the long one. Okay, and then Josh Ock comes in 3 1/3 innings pitched, his longest outing of the year, I think. I don't remember him going any longer than that. 2 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 1 K, filling up the zone. And Colby Allen again comes in, gets his 7th save of the season on an inning and a third, innings pitched. 1 hit, 0 runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks. It's lights out when he enters the ball game.
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch him do it. And it's just a mixture of – it's not like he throws a million. He throws hard, but it's that devastating slider, whatever he throws that goes straight down. It's really fast, and it goes straight down.
Yeah.
And then he spots up everything. He doesn't miss a spot. So anyway, so we got that done with. Started the game at 9 in the morning. I want to say it ended at what time? 9 at night?
Yeah, it was like 8. It was almost 12 hours, like on the dot. But
That's a lot.
It was like I know it was 8 hours and 40-something minutes of delays.
And we were down after the first delay, I think, and then we're up after the second delay.
Right.
To keep your mind right for that entire time is crazy. And some of these guys doing it were freshmen, which is even more impressive to me. But that put us in the championship game. We didn't know who we were going to play. I was kind of hoping that they would have to play another game in the morning before we played.
We were all rooting against them. I guess we were wanting James Madison to win, so they would have had to use more pitching, but it didn't happen.
Right. More pitching and just get up, like have 5 hours of rest because they started at we ended at 9 o'clock. I guess that next game started around 9:45.
Yeah.
So if they would have had to get up and play the 9 o'clock game before the 1 o'clock championship, that's obviously an advantage for the team that doesn't have to do that.
Correct.
But it didn't happen. So we played Georgia Southern on championship game Sunday, 14-11. And this was an awesome game. It was one of the better games that I've ever witnessed in person. It got to the point to where, I kept getting these text messages while I'm sitting at the game. People like, oh, we're going to blow it. Oh, why did he go to that guy? Why did he do this? Why did he do that? And at some point I started texting back going, look, man, at this point, I just think it's a great game, win or lose. It was just such a great game all the way around. Just they hit the ball great. We hit the ball good. We used Mazza. We used Billy Oldham.
Yeah.
They hit like 6 bombs. There's great plays defensively. There's bunts. Russo laid down that bunt with the shift on. It was a cool game. The whole game was something I was very, very glad that I got up and made the 3.5 drive over to Montgomery Fort. But anyway, Southern Miss wins this game 14-11. To recap it, Southern Miss 3 in the top of the first. And again, I'm not. Do you know why we were the visiting team? Was that a coin flip?
Another coin flip, which I swear we lose every single time. That makes zero. What's the point of seeding? What's the point of the regular season if you don't give it to the team?
I don't know.
That deserves it. Please explain.
And I do understand that both teams still get in at bat. I get all that. But
Yeah. Still got to get
there's
27
an
outs. I
advantage to
get it.
being the home team. It's just
Yeah.
there is, and I feel like we should have gotten that advantage, but we didn't. So I had to do it the hard way. Does that sound familiar for Southern Miss?
Nope.
But the way we got those runs in the first was a 3-run blast from Davis Gillespie. He's starting to get going again a little bit. He had a little miniature slump where I don't know his average dropped at 30 points.
It was below 300. He was hanging in the 330s and dropped just below 300. And we needed him to get going, and then it was really good to see that early from him.
It was, and we were feeling it sitting in that second row. This is before I got just nuked by the sun and then moved up to the shade. But we hit that 3-run homer. I'm high-fiving everybody. Mustard Buzzard Bleacher Creature is there. I'm high-fiving him. And so we're up 3-0. You expect to you're hoping the other team kind of folds a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, then they come up and they score 4 in the bottom of the first on 3 bombs.
Yeah.
The first couple were it's 3:14 down the line and left. And they were like fence scrapers. Later in the game, they didn't fence scrape. They hit
they were smashed.
moonshots. They were bombs.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so we hit that 3-run shot, feeling good, and then we're still losing after 1. Georgia Southern, they get another one in the third to go up 6-3. Southern Miss gets 1 back in the fourth and 2 back in the fifth to tie it up at 6. Georgia Southern gets 2 more, up 8-6 after 5 innings. Then Southern Miss scores 3, top 7. That was on singles by Odom and Wilkes. Pato, I mean, Coach Oz, you just dumped threw everything at him, including the kitchen sink during this game, because one of the runners that scored during that inning was Carson Pato. So he uses him off the bench just to come in and pinch run and score. So that's good coaching right there. Georgia Southern hits another couple of home runs in the 7th off of Billy Oldham, who had come in to pitch. I see him down in the pen, and I remember looking around going, okay, there's Billy, like throwing that heavy ball against the fence.
Yeah.
I don't think he would be doing that if he wasn't thinking about coming in. Next thing you know, he's in there, comes in, we're fired up, then gives up a tater. He settles down a little bit, then gives up another tater.
Yeah.
It got to the point that when Georgia Southern hit a fly ball, we were like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They thought everything was going out. This gives Georgia Southern an 11-9 lead. Then Southern Miss with another 5 spot in the 9th off of just a bunch of hits. Stockman singled, Broadus singled. We were almost. I didn't want to have to watch Georgia Southern celebrate. So this is the 9th inning. We're down to our last 3 outs, and we're parked in this parking garage across. And I knew it was going to be crazy to get out of there. So I was like, you know what, Jack, you ready to go? And he said no. I was like, okay. You're not really watching a whole lot, but okay. So I was like, well, I'll watch this first hitter. If we get out, I'm going to go stand in the top. If we get 2 outs, we're just walking out, right?
Yeah.
I just can't watch Georgia Southern celebrate. But then we got those 2 singles. I think both had 2 strikes on them, if I'm not mistaken. And then McIntyre singles. Russo with a huge hit. I think that Pratt got a hit too. I can't remember. Just unreal game. So glad to be there, be a part of it. We got those great videos that we sent out. And I usually jinx us when I do that. When I break out the phone to do the video, never works out. But I did it 3 times that day, and all 3 times something good happened. So
solid, yeah.
Pitching wise, we threw 6 guys. Boz started, and he really didn't have it. Only got through 2/3 of the first. Then Best comes in again, but he looks okay. 2 innings pitched, 2 runs, 2 Ks. Middleton, 2 1/3. He is going to be so important, I think, moving forward in a tournament setting. To have that sort of electric stuff as a deep option in tournament play is really invaluable. When a lot of people are going to people that, maybe just they haven't developed yet, they're not really ready. We have a guy who is. And if he's on, he's damn near unhittable. So, but he goes 2 1/3, 1 hit, 2 runs, 5 Ks. Like we said, Mazza threw an inning. Oldham threw an inning. Colby Allen gets the win, improves to 9-2 on the season.
Unreal.
2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 runs, 0 walks, 1 K. We got that lead, and he was just like, I'm going to keep the ball down, and I'm going to let my defense work, and I'm not walking anybody. And that's what he did. Hitting-wise, 18 hits for the Golden Eagles on the day. D-Mac, 4 for 5, have a day. Gillespie, 2 for 4 with a homer. That's 3 RBIs. Russo, 3 for 5, 2 RBIs. Lawson Odom, 2 for 3. Gabe Broadus, 3 for 4. So talk about the bottom of the lineup. Well, look at it right there. I mean, do we consider Russo? He's kind of mid. But
yeah,
if you go Russo, Odom, Broadus, that's 3 for 5, 2 for 3, 3 for 4. That's a lot. That's a lot of production.
Yeah.
And the bottom of the lineup.
The crazy thing is 18 hits, and we had a home run by Gillespie, and we had a double by Braden Luke.
Ooh, Braden Luke. Yeah. So
everything else was singles.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Huh. That is wild.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. So the bomb, Braden Luke's pinch hit double, and the rest were singles.
That's
now all crucial. It advanced people, and we kept moving, but it was like death by a million singles. So we've had that happen to us. But
yeah, the Braden Luke pinch hit double. He was fired up. Also happy for him. I mean, he was given his shot early this year before Russo just kind of took the rank. Who wasn't given a shot at first base?
Right.
I think Nicky played over there a game or two. I know Gillespie was over there. Russo, Luke. Am I missing somebody? Did Pato play over there? I don't know. There's been a ton of people who we tried to figure out who was going to do it.
I mean, I was out there 1 inning. Yeah, it didn't go
well. Of course, Slade extending that streak again, and more importantly, that was a huge hit that he had to knock in. I think knock in a run or two. So, I mean, do you have any thoughts on what that game was? I do see that we had a comment there from Steve Farmer.
We'll throw that one back up there first.
How good can Ock be? He has been impressive so far. I don't know, man. Dude, the sky's the limit for that kid. We really wanted to get Ryan Ock on tonight, but he doesn't follow us, or he doesn't follow me on Twitter. So we couldn't get him because I can't send him a message. So if anybody's got his number and wants to shoot him, or just tell him to contact us, I'd love to have the original Octonest Monster on to talk about his time here and to talk about his brother. Man,
yeah.
I would love to hear what he has to say. So if anybody can make that happen, we both have jobs during the day and we can't just sit around doing all that. So help us out, homies.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, what were your? I mean, we won the championship. It was really good. It was great seeing the kids being able to celebrate and just thinking back to the season. But try to wrap it up. And what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm incredibly superstitious about championship games. Ever since I went to that Houston game and we got smashed, not the one that we won. I did not go to that. Hence the reason we won the championship. So you're welcome. I stayed away from Montgomery on Sunday because I'm superstitious, and it was a roller coaster, man. Fired up about Gillespie. We're up 3-0, and then I watched them just take the lead back in the bottom first, and I'm like deflated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I didn't move from my spot pretty much all day. I did tried to distract myself. I had it on. I never turned it off, but I did try to get positive vibes and stay on Twitter and interact with stuff like that. But yeah, it was great. Like you said, it was a great game. It felt like a heavyweight match. I think I said that at one point. It was just back and forth and just haymaker after haymaker. And I know we wanted to be the home team, but I think going down and knowing our back was against the wall is what this team has been made of, is that grit, is that gritty fight where it doesn't matter if you hit 6 bombs in a game, they're just unfazed. And
you've got to be feeling pretty. I mean, just if you're Georgia Southern, you're like, damn it. What do we got to do? The best game in the history of the school.
Yep.
The coach was trying his ass off too, man. He would come out, he would stall right? He's been there forever. He's a crafty coach and a good coach. His all time record. He's got like 300 more wins than he does losses. He's good, but they were exhausting every single mound visit that you could have. They were
Right.
It was in the middle of at bats, and then making somebody get in the box and step out of the box, and we had to battle a lot. Not to mention the umpire, but you're right, man. This team just I don't know when we developed it, but it's there now. You're getting knocked out, Rocky style, and just with the first one.
It wasn't that long ago. We were having a conversation about we mentioned the word rebuilding. We were like, we couldn't figure out who was going to step up and be the man. Like who was going to kind of
for anything, for hitting, for pitching.
Yeah. Who was, it just felt like we didn't have like the leadership that we needed. It just, but man, it was just like, it just kind of had to continue to kind of marinate. And like, once May got here, it was like, all right, it's go time. And, I know that a lot of the videos that the creative team has kind of put out and, on the baseball account and stuff like that, you have Ock in those, not Ock, Oz, in those kind of post game speeches. And, he references that tradition of excellence board a lot. And if you want to add to that, you want to make a difference, like this is the time. And so, I love that about him. He knows the history and knows, what's expected of these guys, and they deliver.
And I guess it all just kind of came to what we've talked about. We did the top of the lineups changed, the pitching rotations changed, the first baseman's changed, and it's kind of poetic. I think that in the final game of the Sun Belt Conference tournament, I don't know who was left on the bench that wasn't used. Threw a ton of pitchers, including your Friday and your Saturday.
Yeah, the box score is outrageous.
You gave up 6 homers. You had Tuna come and pinch run and score a run. You had Braden Luke, who was the backup first baseman, hit, and then somebody ran for him. And then you beat a good team in the process and gave up 6 homers. It's just, if there's ever a team effort win, I don't know what that scorecard looked like over there. I would like to get a picture of the scorecard with all the scratches.
Yeah, 21 people played.
That's a lot.
21, 15.
Hats off to
Look,
15 all hands on deck.
Field.
I don't know if you have. I would not have done that. Would you? Would you have thrown Billy? Would you have thrown Mazza? We were shoe-ins. We were already in the regional. In fact, I could argue, and Phil brought this up today when we were at Mugshots, that we might have gotten a better draw had we lost.
Yeah,
because we'll see here in a minute. We got the number 1 team, but so it was great. We won that. They dogpiled. We have a nice video of it up on our Twitter and I think our Facebook page as well, so you can go check that out. The Sun Belt Conference tournament team was announced. I don't have the entire thing here, but as far as Southern Miss goes, Billy Oldham made the team. Nick Monaster, Slade Wilkes. I don't know how Russo doesn't make the team. I don't get that. I don't.
Yeah.
On
TV they were like he was the MVP of of the championship game, and then I know, they gave the tournament MVP to Colby Allen, but they did say that it's like nothing else was mentioned on it. I don't know if it was mentioned on the field, but they did say that.
Okay, well, at least you got something out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, most outstanding performer was Colby Allen. So I do remember seeing the team, and I think Georgia Southern had a bunch of guys on it, which has got to make it even doubly worse for them. But that's almost poetic as well, is that even in the post tournament, I don't know what that was.
That's the set Stanley Cooper.
Hold on. There we go. I was preparing for weather for the weekend, and my weather app talks to me. So good times.
But even when the tournament team is announced, we still kind of get shafted. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
they just can't help themselves. But next up is the Knoxville Regional. I don't know if you want to take us through kind of how that's going to go down. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very nice. So take it away, Pilo. Next up is the Knoxville Regional. We are headed there we play on Friday at noon.
Yeah, let me make sure. Yeah. 1 Eastern,
So
because
noon
Knoxville
here.
is,
Yep.
noon here. Let's see. Obviously, in the Knoxville regional, we have number 1 Tennessee, who's at 50-11. Southern Miss is the 2 seed at 41-18. Indiana will be the 3 seed, who we will play on Friday. They're 32-24-1. And then Northern, is that Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
They're 35-22 as the 4 seed. So Indiana at noon on Friday, the Hoosiers, 8 tournament appearances since 2013. So they're, like I said, they're 32-24-1 out of the Big Ten, 15-9 in conference. Lost 2 in a row. They're 17-11 at home, 11-8-1 away, 4-5 on neutral fields. As a team, they're hitting .295, 78 home runs. 33 of 40 stolen bases, like to run a little bit. They're led offensively by Devin Taylor, who's hitting .352.
Yeah, he can play.
18 bombs, 11 doubles, 49 RBIs. Behind him, Nick Mitchell, who's batting .349 with 49 RBIs. So that's 98 RBIs between those two guys. Math. Joey, Brinsecki, batting .335, and then Tyler Cerny batting .312, 23 doubles, 10 home runs. And then they have another guy, Carter Matheson, with 13 home runs. So that's kind of offensively. Pitching, they have a team ERA of 6.02, led by Ty Bothwell. So I would imagine is who we'll see. 79 innings pitched, 4.9 ERA, 6-3, giving up 13 home runs. Hey now, Connor Foley, another pitcher they have, has thrown 60.2 innings. Has a 3.71 ERA, a 4-1 record, 80 Ks, and 42 walks.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be neat to play Indiana. I think Cloverleaf Mall has asked a question: who do we pitch on Friday? That's another thing that Cloverleaf. I mean, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because, again, we were talking about it at lunch, and
join the Twitter space. And
so you have to. So here's the deal: you have to win the first game. So that makes you want to throw Billy, does it not?
Yep.
Well, that would leave, and you would assume that if you win that game, that you're playing Tennessee. So, I mean, I wonder what Tennessee's going to do. If you're Tennessee, do you throw off? I mean, I know we can't. We don't have the kind of team where you can do that. But if you're Tennessee, maybe I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know enough about Tennessee, but if they do it and they're looking to play us, we're at least familiar with each other from what happened last year. Billy looked great against Tennessee last year. He won the game, right?
Yeah.
We had Tanner going. It was the best feeling of all time. And then everything happened. But who do you pitch? I think that's the conundrum is that do you want to throw your best or do you not that Matt? I mean, we almost have a 1A and a 1B. Billy's been hotter lately, I think, right? Let's just say it that way. And Nico is great early in the season. If he can find it, he's a power arm that's got every bit of ability as anybody in the country. Billy's been better than him lately. But my thing is that Billy has already done it versus Tennessee. And I think that Tennessee is used to hard throwers.
Yep. Yeah, power pitching is going to –
I'm not positive that Indiana is. So I would be very tempted to go Nico versus Indiana. I think that I would end up probably going Billy because I think he's the safer bet. And you have to win the first game. I don't know what the stats are, but if you're playing the number 1 seed, in the country and you don't throw you don't throw you lose the first game. I don't think you're coming back to win that regional, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a long shot anyway you slice it. So, what do you think, PLo? Well, so Beam will start Saturday. This is a Tennessee guy. So Beam will start Saturday, and admittedly, I don't watch a whole lot of Tennessee games. So PLo, you can look up those stats, or Sam Smith, if you want to chime in, if you want to get on the Twitter Space, you can go to our Twitter Space and you can hit the button.
We did have some other comments that I want to throw out there.
Yep.
Why do we have to win the first game, a la 2023? I guess because it makes our life a little easier. You're right. We don't have to, but you want to. Let's see.
It was better than losing the first game.
Correct. Let's see.
Crazy Eagle says I go Mazza Friday. He was they start the year. Billy Saturday if we're playing Tennessee, which obviously we're going to be playing. That would be the ultimate shock, right? If that didn't happen. I'm with you, Crazy Eagle. It's very, very tempting. At the end of the day, I'm not sure who I would go with, but I would like to see. I think that's the best way to go. I do. I'm with Crazy Eagle. I think I'm going to go ahead and stand on that side of the line pretty firmly. And don't blame anybody that wants to throw Billy. He's the best pitcher we got right now. So I don't know. It's something that Oz is probably going to have to think about just a little bit. At least have the conversation. You think Oz is watching the Twitter Space?
Oh yeah, most definitely he is. What up, Oz? Yeah, I'm trying to dig through their website. I mean, I see Beam on here. It looks like he has a 3.92 ERA, 8-2 win-loss record. 85 innings pitched.
It's a lot of innings.
Batters hitting 264, 21 walks, 75 strikeouts.
Yeah, so stud, right? Like everybody else on their team. So anyway, look, let's just say they did go with there too, and we played them. I mean, you're still going to have your hands full, right? So that's what you expect. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and currently Tennessee's the best. So that's that's where it is. They're very good.
Very good team. They won 50 games.
Wish they had better fans, but their team is just they're really good baseball players. So is what it is. Attack Eagles to chime back in. If you don't think Mazza can beat Indiana, what makes you think he can beat Tennessee? I say Mazza, then Billy. Hold on. If you don't think Mazza can beat Indiana. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I think that's really – I'm just reading it wrong. But I do think he can beat Indiana. I think he can beat Tennessee too, but I think Tennessee is very much used to what Mazza brings to the table, unlike what Billy brings to the table, which is not that he throws 60 miles an hour or anything, but he's more spot up, less power. It's
location.
It's Maddox to Smoltz, right? If you're going to go 90s Braves reference there. One of them's a Maddox, one of them's a Smoltz. They're both really awesome, but it's just a different kind of thing. So I think that's how I would look at it. Okay, PLo, we had some weather issues here in Hattiesburg last year because it rains sometimes, even though we have a perfect field and we don't have to worry about any sort of drainage issue or anything like that. But tons of people, probably Sam Smith, got very upset with the rain situation. So what is the weather looking like this weekend in Knoxville? And we play at noon on Friday, and then from like around noon on Friday through the end of the weekend, what are we looking at weather-wise?
So is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Is that right? Is it over Sunday? I mean, I guess is there a potential?
I think there's always a possibility of a Monday. But
okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Friday and Saturday look good. You're like, again, it's not South Mississippi, so you're talking high 78, low 53, so pretty moderate temperature. Saturday, we're looking at high 81, low 59. But Sunday does have a little chance of rain, shocker. And Monday and Tuesday really look like rain there. So hopefully we don't drag out to Monday. I don't see any reason to. But yeah, I think it's gonna be decent. I would love for it to monsoon. That would be hilarious.
Yes, it would. I'd like to remind everybody that if you can't make it to the game or any of the games this week, Mugshots has game day pictures of Miller Lite, Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Yingling, and Sam Adams seasonal. There's shareable starters to order for the entire table. Get you some of that. Happy hour deals 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. So the Friday game, that's perfect. Half off domestic well drinks and domestic draft, $3 snacks. And they've been voted the best burger in Mississippi 16 years in a row, so everybody can't be wrong. PLo, we have other teams in the Sun Belt who are also playing in regionals.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind getting us caught up on?
Yeah, before I do that, I did want to circle back to earlier when Amy talked about the coffee place was called Be Caffeinated. So
Be Caffeinated, that's right. Okay. They've told me about that. That's
I
right.
kind of misread that. So I will do that. And then Sam Smith had a comment here with a lot of information. We'll throw it up in just a second. So
I got it. Yeah, hit it.
Yeah, you go ahead and read that. I'll handle the other.
Tennessee will go to Beam, who has been the Saturday guy and the best pitcher, followed by Combs. Xander will start Friday against NKU. He's been the Sunday guy. So they are thrown off a little bit. Chris Stamos has been the Stamos.
Is he related to Sean?
Yeah, Chris Stamos. What was the name of that show?
Full House, bro.
Full House, that's right. Has been the opener on Friday, and AJ Causey has been the guy who comes in and eats out.
Interesting choice of words.
Good for him. Nate Snead can hit 101 miles per hour, shocker, and he's the gas out of the bullpen. Combs is the best bullpen arm. Good.
Sorry, we've already seen Slade turn around 100. So,
well, they have a bunch of them. Remember last year they had. It was like Aroldis Chapman. It's over and over and over. What are you gonna do? Anyway, but we pushed them to the brink last year, and who knows? This team is still. Sean or Sam, if you hadn't followed Southern Miss this year, so everybody's new, right? 7 new starters. Tanner Hall's gone, best pitcher in probably the history of the program, and here we are again with basically the same exact record. In my eyes, I feel like this team is kind of already overachieved. I was hoping that something like this would turn out. You never want your team to lose in anything ever, right? But you can't just keep winning. This is our 8th season in a row of 40+ wins, the longest streak of any team in the country. And there's something to it. I don't know why. But
the 30 win streak.
The 30 win streak is at 20-something seasons, whatever it is. I'm not sure why we have put it together, but I know we have. So this team's fun to watch. I think you'll probably like watching us play. Especially if you go to that first game, Sam. I assume that you live up there and you're going to be going to these games. I think you'll like watching our team play. It's somebody different all the time. It's bottom of the lineup right now. The top of the lineup kind of carried us for a while. The middle struggled. We've had like 4 different first basemen. Our starting second baseman was a pitcher last year, started off in center field this year. Our center fielder was up for the best player in the state of Mississippi. He was supposed to be a pitcher, not a position player at all. He's starting in center and hitting like 390. It's just a weird year. We
hadn't figured out the status of Tuna Wrap either. So
and then our starting right fielder didn't participate in the Sun Belt Conference tournament at all outside of pinch running one time on Sunday. His wrist has been taped up the entire time. # Tuna Wrap. So it's a weird team, but I guess the point is it's a weird team, but it's a team. It's an entire team effort. You keep throwing out stats like this guy throws 101 and this guy's got the gas and this guy's the best out of the bullpen. When we just got to, we don't really know. We just figure it out as we go, and we've been whooping some ass. So it's
like an angry cat in a corner. Just you can pin us back, but like we're coming fighting. So
Sure.
We're not
One
scared.
more comment. Whole new people. We still can't hit lefties. Well, we've won like 40-something games, 8 years in a row. Nobody else has done that. So, whatever, Delta. Sam back in. If you can survive Tennessee's 1-6, 7, 8, and 9 isn't great. We aren't good defensively. Bill Amick is a walking error. Okay. Make notes on that.
Yeah, good.
We are what do we do well, PLo? If you were to come back to that, if Sam was sitting right here, we're just kind of good. I don't know if we're at elite at anything. We're not bad at anything. Good, just a good, solid ball club. I mean, is that how you would describe us?
Yeah, I think
we don't hit we hadn't hit 100 home runs this year. We haven't, we don't hit for a ton of average. We just do everything.
I think when we're clicking, we really tend to hit 2-out rallies really well. I mean, when we're good, I think when we've been really good this season, clutch hitting has been something that we've done really well this season. And there are moments where we're, beating our head against the wall, wishing this guy had it, but I think it happens more often than it doesn't. And this team kind of has that grit where if you hit 6 bombs against us, we're not going to quit. We're not fazed by it. So, yeah, I don't think there's any glaring stat that we're just superior at.
It's just at the end of the day, you look up, you're like, we won again.
Yeah,
we won again. It just keeps happening. So I think I would sum it up that way. Anyway, PLo, other teams in the Sun Belt Conference that have made the regionals, and where are they going?
Yeah, so Coastal, Louisiana, Lafayette, and James Madison are all teams to make it into a regional. So the College Station Regional is where Louisiana is going. They are the 2 seed there with A&M as the 1, Texas as the 3, and Grambling as the 4. Yeah, love that. Sam said, if you have a soft toss and lefty, throw him.
Okay, well, if we do have that guy, his name is Cross Sibley, and we talked about that today. We've talked about him tonight. He's usually our first out of the pen, gets you out of the jam, gets you through the next inning, and he's out. He has started 4 games this year and looked bad in every one of them, but he's looked great. He single-handedly won us a game at Georgia State. He has looked great for his entire career at Southern Miss. You probably saw him last year. I'm thinking surely he threw against Tennessee last year at some point. But if you see a guy named Sibley coming in, that's what you should look for, Sam. Is I wouldn't say soft throwing. He's 88. Is that soft throwing these days? 88
Yes.
touching 90. Okay. Back in my day, that was gas. But if you're Tennessee, I guess you're like, oh, you only threw 94.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? But anyway, sorry, PLo.
No, you're good. Let's see. So that is Louisiana. So next up, Coastal is in the Clemson Regional. Clemson as the 1, Vandy as the 2, Coastal as the 3, and High Point as the 4.
Both of those regionals are more winnable than our regional, by the way, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. And you have the James Madison making the NC State ? Regional. NC State is the 1, South Carolina as the 2, James Madison as the 3, and Bryant as the 4.
Like I said, I think if we lose in the conference tournament, in the championship game, or maybe even earlier than that, we're probably one of these.
I don't really understand.
We win it all. We go to Tennessee. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either, because it seems like to me a team that's won 15 of their last 16. I think outside of the Texas State Sunday loss, I think we host. If everything else happened the way it happened, I feel like we're the best 2 seed. I don't really know of another 2 seed, or at least a hotter 2 seed at this point.
Sure.
And then they stick us at the 1. That doesn't make any sense to me. But again,
ironically, the one thing that I was really worried about was if Starkville was going to get the last host spot as the 16, I felt like our chances of going there were pretty high.
And we were getting paired with.
And we would be paired with Tennessee. That was
Yeah.
the thing that was worrying me. I was like, well, we're going to a winnable regional, not far from the house. We can all go and attend, but we're going to be paired with the 1. So that was my nightmare. And my nightmare is like tenfold now because you just go straight to the 1, right?
Right. Yeah.
But again, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and Tennessee is that. So here we go.
Yeah. So that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say that wraps up the teams, the other Sunbelt teams in regional.
Very good. Delta. I'll get caught up on a couple of these comments real quick. Delta Dimes has chimed back in saying, "Why do you think Oz keeps starting Civ?" I don't know, because he's a good player, and you got to think at some point he's due. But yeah, he's 0 for 4 as far as starts go. I like him, and I think I would be tempted to do the same thing. But yeah, I'm with you. Why does he keep doing it? And what else are you going to do? Army went down. McCarty English went down. Payne was down. Middleton couldn't find it for a while. I mean, where are you going to go? I think that's one reason why he kept doing it. Like, well, we know he's going to throw a strike. He's healthy.
He's healthy and he's got experience, so toss him back out
there.
So
that's probably the reason, I would think.
Yeah.
And the last comment here, Sunbelt Conference teams at the 1, 4, 6, and 10 seeds. Tough draw. Well, look, we're used to it. That's how it rolls. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that when a company sets up, like, what are the best odds we can give the most amount of SEC teams to make Omaha?
Yeah.
They spread it out as best they can.
Yeah, I mean, if you listened to the live we had with Baker, don't kid yourself. The NCAA is out to make as much money as possible. Like, people, yeah, they're going to create a competitive field, but at the end of the day, it's dollars. And just right now, the ACC and SEC fans travel and eyeballs on the screen, and that's what sells. And so, yeah, they're going to stack the deck as well as they can to get people there and to get that many teams as they can to Omaha. So that's the way it is.
Yeah. Hence Florida being in a tournament. They're damn near – they almost have a losing record.
Yeah, 28-27.
And people keep going to the RPI, but honestly, if you're in that league, I don't know why you would schedule anybody else, because once you get to conference play, it's impossible. It is a impossibility for your RPI to fall.
Yeah.
It can't happen, right? So all you have to – literally, you could schedule nobodies and then yourselves, and that's it. And almost be a shoe-in every year. I mean, if 28 and 27 gets you in, I don't see how you can argue with my logic. Could we have 38 wins and get in? Could we have 10 more wins than that and threaten in? Maybe squeak in as a 3.
Yeah, it would be a 3 or 4.
You almost have to be historically good to be in the tournament as a 2, and really not even looked at as a host. Or if you're average, you're out. If you're historically bad, you're out. But you don't have to be historically good to get in if you're SEC team. You don't have to even be good at all. All you have to do is be in the league and not have a losing record. And that's unfortunate. It is. Attack Eagle said, "Why not start best versus cross?" Oh, they both play on the same team. They can't play against each other. That's how I read that. But I get what he's saying. So best is, again, if we're talking to Sam up there, we mentioned Cross Sibley earlier. He's the lefty that throws like 88. Kind of a funky delivery, bunch of strikes. Best is just like an all-grown-up Cross, really. He throws a little harder, right? And probably a little bit more of a power guy, but he's not like mid-90s. He's, 92, 93, or Cross is 88, 90. So why wouldn't you start Best versus Cross? I think Best just had to – he was coming off that injury. We didn't know what he had. and he's on a limited pitch count early and then late. Yeah, all of us have wondered that. As far as starting goes, yeah, I'm with you. It's best in my eyes over Cross in a starting role every single time. In a spot up lefty role, like a big power lefty. Let's think like in Southern Miss terms, like a Matt Wallner. I think I would go with a Cross Sibley type against him in a spot up matchup over somebody who throws a little bit harder like Chandler. So that's where I would go. Last comment here, definitely rigged that way by Gary P. I agree. And it just is what it is. I don't even really fault it. I don't think. It's just there's no point in arguing. It is what it is.
I mean, it all comes back to dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call yourself nonprofit all you want, but it's dollars.
And that is outside of I have a little bit of track and field news here that I wanted to mention, because the Southern Miss baseball team is not the only team that's going to the postseason. But after the track and field news, we will be shutting it down. So if anybody wants to jump in here at the last minute, feel free to comment-wise or on the space. Southern Miss women's outdoor track and field squad saw one relay team qualify for the NCAA championships, and a pair of relay teams collect school records Saturday in the fourth and final day of the NCAA East Regional in Lexington, Kentucky. 4x100 relay squad featuring Trinity Flagler, Jada McDougall, Varner, and Trinity Benson posted a school record 43.68 and posted the 8th best qualifying mark to advance to the NCAA championships in Eugene, Oregon next month. So that's cool. Another tandem squad in the 4x400 relay, Trinity Benson, Jada McDougall, Addison McLaurin, and Seva Varnell did not qualify for next month's championships, but did earn the 14th best time at the meet and a school record of 3:32.06. The women's 4x100 relay team was the only event that the Golden Eagles advanced to the championship after initially qualifying in 13 events. So I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that. Mm-hmm. That's all that I have, brother. It's shout out time. I've already kind of done a few of mine, but if other than those fishes that you caught and they're going to grill tomorrow, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to my dad for picking me up this morning and going fishing. We haven't done that in a little bit. So, yeah, I appreciate him, and always a good time to get in the boat with him. And shout out to my wife, because I did wake up like at 4 o'clock this morning and put a Boston butt on to smoke all day. And so, obviously, I was in a boat till about 2:30 from 4 o'clock. So, I obviously couldn't take care of it, so she took care of it most of the day with a lot of text messages and phone calls and making sure, do I do this or do I do that? So it was great. We had it tonight to eat. It was awesome. So she did a good job. So shout out to Gina.
Yeah. Knows her way around a butt.
No doubt.
I'll give a few shout outs. You know what? I'll start with my wife. So my wife, this is Memorial Day, but look, when you're in the realtor world, sometimes you gotta go to work, right? So she went to work all day long, man, out there showing houses and working deals and doing all that is that realtors do. So shout out to her for all of that stuff. So I ran into Bo Roberts while at stadium. We were in the gift shop, and he said hello. We had never met, but he said he listens to the pod a lot. And there's a lot of gift shops standing in time because it was so hot in the stadium that you just had to go up there. Jack was like, "Hey, we got a gift shop, even though that's going to cost me some money." And I was like, "Yes, we can do that. Yep. I'll buy you whatever you want for 5 minutes of air conditioner." Also ran into Kelly Corey. I saw her sitting behind home plate when I was just watching the games on TV before I went, and she's still there. Man, what a trooper. And she's in the radio world as well, up around the Meridian area. And she said hello. I mentioned him earlier, but Mustard Buzzard Bleacher Creature, I gave him some high fives as we were kicking ass there in the game. Jacob Fitzgerald from the Buzz Street podcast. We chopped it up for a little bit. Love what those guys do. Way more stat oriented than we are. And
probably a lot more accurate.
Yeah, Jonathan Brent, Patrick McGee, and Jacob, they do just a wonderful job over there. So go check out that pod as well. Jeremy Chance and his whole family was there, sitting kind of in the shade where me and Jack ended up. Matt Rockwell, Kevin and Amy Rogers, Destiny and Chase Blackwell, and our good buddy Chris Wright. All of those guys were there, and probably some more that I forgot to mention, but it was great seeing everybody. And I really do appreciate when people come up and just say hello. Hey, man, thanks for doing the show, or, just thanks for coming, whatever. It means a lot, so thank you very much. That is it. This episode is brought to you by Mugshots Grill and Bar, where they are. Oh, hey, and shout out to Cliff Russell. Wanted to get him on the night, but he's going to Disney World in the morning. I think his family would kill him.
Oh, so, good for him.
Good. But he, man, owner of the Mugshots here in Hattiesburg, and they
sponsor the show.
They sponsor the show. Former pitcher for the Golden Eagles, just a great dude. The nicest guy. So shout out to Cliff as well. But this episode was brought to you by Mugshots Grill and Bar, where they're always having a good time. Happy hour specials daily, and for a limited time, they're bringing back some of their oldies but goodies. So check them out soon. Go see our good friends at Mugshots in Hattiesburg today. Mugshots, delivering craveable food and personalized hospitality to friends and family in a place obsessed with sports. Thank you so much for chiming in today, listening in today, whatever day you might have listened, which platform you chose to listen in on. Remember, you can follow me at Bumper J. Bailey and Patrick at P. Lowry. Follow us on all the social at To The Top Talk. And don't forget about the mailbag, tothetoptalk@gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell somebody to the top today. And as always, Southern Miss.
To the top.
Talk.
Why you mad?
I could play